wife whose mother passed away back in September. So I did the, strategy sessions, aka listing appointment yesterday. The sister and the brother came, and they actually ended up saying that they know someone else that's going through the same thing, and that they would love for me to help them out. So it was really cool. And they just said they've never seen a realtor that does everything. So it just kind of solidified that, what we're doing, what we're teaching is the right thing. So that would be my success for the week. Anyone else want to share? No matter how no matter how big or how small? Nothing? Right. Anyone have a topic or a question that they want to go over today, to make sure we get the most out of today? That's the case. Yeah. Pull this up. Mm, We'll give it a couple minutes. We'll sit here. Yeah, if anyone wants to, yeah, so if anyone wants to talk again or speak up, you can just unmute yourself and say ask a question or maybe a pain point you're having or maybe a scenario with your client. Feel free to just unmute or put it in the chat if you're not in a spot where you can talk. And if we want to put in the chat where everyone's from and maybe how long we've been either focusing with seniors or how long we've been in real estate. For those that don't know me, I'm Cory Boldroff. I'm one of the founders of the Productive Aging Collective. I'm over here in Southern California in what's called a certified real estate planner. So I help people build, protect, and transfer wealth, as well as have a family of companies to be the complete solution for seniors and their families planning for the future and beyond. And I just really saw that this is really what I believe is my calling. It gives me a lot of fulfillment, and I want to help, basically build an army of agents that really can help seniors and their families on a higher level. So that's why we started the pack, and joined it with Felicia and a couple others and Paul and some that have come and gone. But this is where our heart's at. And yeah. And for like the ones that are just getting into the senior space, uh, like even though everyone thinks it's a niche, 72% of business in 2025 involved someone that was 55 years or older. They're the biggest population of buyers. They're the biggest population of sellers. So I don't think it's a niche. I actually think it's the biggest segment, but most people just don't know how to help them on a high level. And there are people that are taking advantage of seniors. And so what I'm trying to do is, again, just educate as many people as can, bring as many resources as we can together, help as many agents, help as many seniors as we can to hopefully stop the scams and the fraud that are going on. And I can also say that there's people that are doing seniors and their families injustice, and I think it's our duty to really help and be vocal. Also, no matter what your pillars are in business, I'm a big stat person. It's funny that it's also 72%, but 72% of real estate's business comes from a personal relationship. So friends, family, past clients, current clients you're working with, and then as well as a referral from their friends, family, coworkers, people that they know, or professionals. So in my opinion, by helping seniors and saying you focus and specialize helping seniors, you're actually opening up your ecosystem by two, four, maybe even eight times. If you guys have heard me say it, I say it all the time that, my friends, when I call them, I tell them I help, seniors, and I really focus on seniors and their families. So if they have a parent or a grandparent, I'd love to help them out. My friends have, mom and a dad, and if they're married, they got two moms and two dads, and if they're young enough, they got four grandmas and four grandpas. So by helping this one person and by talking to this one person, I'm building my ecosystem two, four, eight different times. So I would say in your marketing, in your branding, every conversation you have, by telling everyone that you specialize helping seniors and their families, you are actually opening up your ecosystem to one of the biggest segments in real estate. Um, yeah, and so Lisa said, I'm 67, and I felt I needed to learn more about this as so many of my friends and customers are dealing with the senior issues. Yeah, it is. I mean, 7,000 people are turning 65 years old every single day. And most people that you talk to, or most people at least that I talk to, their mom, their dad, their grandmother, grandpa are all going through that next phase of life. They're all going through the, do I live in my home forever? Do I move out? What do I do? Where do I go? And so like yesterday in the membership masterclass, we went over, okay, why knowing the senior living options is so crucial, really knowing the inventory, because one of the biggest pain points with helping seniors and their families is where are they going to go? And also letting them know and kind of helping educate and helping them be proactive of you want to make sure that you're living in the best, safest spot to live the highest quality of life for as long as possible. Because I don't know how many conversations I've had where, so, oh, I'm never leaving my home. I'm leaving feet first. Oh, and mom won't leave. Oh, we always get in arguments about it. Well, there are ways to have this conversation that can be productive. Um, and I go to, like, you can't be their parent, you can't force them, you can't make them. And if you try to be stubborn about it, trust me, they will be more stubborn about it. But going back to, also can't let it, and I don't mean that seniors are 2-year-olds or 4-year-olds, but if you just say to a 2-year-old, don't touch the stove, it's hot, that's not going to stop them from touching it. And sometimes we have to do whatever we have to do to protect them. And I feel the same thing with seniors, that sometimes we have to do whatever we have to do to protect them. And I would say is most of the time it's just by asking questions and the right questions and being curious. So one of the questions I love to ask is, I'm not trying to get you to move. I know you want to be in your home forever, and I think that's a great thing to be. And I would love to walk through to show you maybe some things that could help you live here longer, or maybe through end of life. But my bigger question is, God forbid a crisis happened. You got out of the bathtub, you fell down, you broke your hip. It happens. Falls are 65% of why people over the age of 72 pass away. So when we're talking about this, it's a reality. This does happen. So if this happens, you go to the hospital. Most people don't know that if you go to the hospital, the caseworker will be assigned to you. And they have the right to go into your house and say, you know what, this house is not fit or safe for you to live in here. So we are not releasing you from the hospital until you have a care plan, or we are directing you to go to a like a rehab center or a skilled nursing facility. Well, they can't do that. Well, they can, and they do. And in most states, they do have this right. So God forbid this was the scenario. Where is it that you'd want to go so me and your family can actually be your advocates and say, no, 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 she's not going there. This is where she decided she wants to go. We put it into your trust. It even makes it that much more powerful. When we have that conversation, it gets them to think, well, I've never thought about that. Great. What if we just went and explored different communities? Not again, no one's forcing you. There's no pressure, there's no obligation. No one's going to arrest you and put you in this place. But if we put this into your care plan, if we put this into your estate plan, if we make sure that your kids know where you want to go, God forbid a crisis happens, we can put you there. Or if you start getting dementia or Alzheimer's, which is also a surge illness that's happening right now, we already know because it's so stressful, especially as your kids and your adult children, to guess where you want to go, and they're going to feel like they're forcing you rather than helping you execute your plan. Currently helping a neighbor relocate as her husband is now in memory care. So moving to be near daughter. I have set her up with an agent to find her a home and then working to help her get ready for a home. Yeah, I mean, it happens time and time and time again. And, again, there are places where have memory care that'll allow someone that doesn't have memory care, stay with them. And there's places that won't. So again, knowing our inventory is so crucial. Setting up these appointments, going and touring these communities. I always talk about minimum action. If our one minimum action to be successful in the senior space was just to do one tour a week, we'd visit 52 different communities, different senior living options in 1 year. You would be known as the expert. And I believe most businesses are not a get rich quick scheme. Definitely real estate, definitely in the senior space. If we're going to do this, we got to look at the next 12 to 18 months. How do we build ourselves up as the authority, as the expert over the next 12 to 18 months? We don't have to have it all figured out in week one. It's something that we can build up into. And that's part of what we're doing in the membership now is we tried to last year was just, I mean, I call it vomiting from the mouth. Some other people say it's, drinking from a fire hose. It's just too much to handle. So we are breaking it now down into an 18-month segment of like, okay, this month we're going to talk about this. Then we're going to build this pillar out, and then we're going to build this pillar out. So no matter where you're at in your business, you can build those pillars out and decide where is it that you'd want to specialize in. Um, yeah, making a list, and that's really where to start is just make a list, and you can do it by Google. Yesterday, I literally went on ChatGPT and I just said, build me a Google sheet of all the senior living communities and options in a 30-mile radius of me. If you can find phone numbers, websites, emails, also how many units they have, what their costs are, please do so. It took ChatGPT 15 minutes to compile this list, and it was pretty accurate, only because I've done the lists personally myself and visited the places personally myself. So it's something that you could do. How do I find out Texas allows social workers to go in the home and say they can't go back in their home at the hospital? I'm gonna well, one, I mean, you can go to the hospitals and ask, but I'm going to venture out and probably say that this is a law probably across the country because they, if they were to release a patient that still needed care, they would be liable for it. So, and then it could be considered elder abuse. So I would have to say it's almost every state, but again, I mean, you could probably again Google it, ChatGPT it. You can probably go on your Facebook groups and go and say, okay, I'm looking for a case manager at a hospital, and I just have some questions, and I wanted to interview you for my senior podcast or for my groups or for my clients, whatever have you. Someone's going to speak up. And then just interview them and just say, okay, what is your job at the hospital? What do you do? When is it a scenario where you're like, okay, they can't go live back at home? Do you ever go back out to the house? Um, I just know in California, I mean, we like to control everybody, but I think in this standpoint, I think it's actually a good thing. I think helping them not burn themselves on the fire. Now there are sometimes where family members can say, okay, I'll take care of them. There's probably something that they can sign that says, no, I'm not going to adhere to it. But again, when the crisis happened, they broke their hip, the hospital won't keep them and the hospital won't just release them. So they will transport them or, get some kind of transportation to a rehab center or a skilled nursing facility. Usually insurance covers it as well.
So Cory, isn't there, and I know in our area in Florida, we have elder services. Would elder services be a point of contact that could maybe guide you as to how the process works? Because I have a friend whose mother has been going through this and she had fallen, gotten in and out, fallen a couple times, and they kept telling her she needed to go somewhere and she refused. And elder services finally said, you cannot live here anymore.
Elder services, there's aging councils, ombudsman. I mean, like I would interview again. I love interview style because it gives you great content for your social media, but at the same time as you're interviewing them, you're learning yourself. But it might not appear that way, or you can be like, wow, I never knew that. That's so interesting. And if I didn't know that, I'd have to imagine that there's lots of people out there. everyone's looking for resources. And that's one thing I would say is like, again, building content up, a lot of agents are really hesitant with social media. Oh, I don't look good on camera. I don't know what to say. I'll look stupid out there. You look so natural. Then do interviews. Put the camera on them, and or there's things like captions. It's an app that you can do with captions. It has a teleprompter right there for you. And then it also has even a way where you can um, input B-roll videos or B-roll pictures. So like it shows little snippets of you, but it's also overlaying pictures and videos, so you don't really have to be there. You can do voiceovers. I mean, there's so many different ways to do these things, but I would say it's like super critical. Again, I believe it's our duty, it's our responsibility to educate people and to share this because there are so many families going through this and there isn't, for the most part, most places don't have like, hey, if your mom's going through this, come talk to us and we'll help you. People don't know their resources and they don't know their vetted resources. So it's your job to protect them. It's your job to educate them. Um, any questions, things that people want to add. So we do have a question. What's the difference between 99 membership and 27 membership? So what it is during January or during December and January, we lowered the 99 membership to $27 a month as a way to, we know December and January are usually slower months, but it was just like a kind of like a Christmas gift or a holiday gift. The membership will go up to $99. It was just the last month that you can sign up for 27 to make it 27 this month. And then it turns into 99 the following month. So same membership, same, it includes the master classes. And we're also going to start including a professional spotlight and just to basically do two, like a spotlight and then a master class slash mastermind every single week. And then these classes are free, and they'll probably remain free um, for the future out. We haven't decided that we haven't talked about having to pay for these LFG calls. Um, Anyone else have any questions, scenarios, things they want to go over? Um, it's free for all. If anyone has anything, if not, I can keep just talking. But
It's
would
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Um, I am hosting an event in March. It's a senior event, and I'm starting to approach different places and individuals to participate. Do you find that there's a certain way you're supposed to kind of ask them for, paying for lunch or paying for desserts? Is it in a formal format? Can you kind of explain kind of what that looks like if you've ever done it yourself in the past?
So generally, when I do my lunch and learns, I am the speaker. I might bring in like I do one called Wills, Trust, and Probate. I might bring in a trust attorney and say, look, I do this, this seminar. It's all about wills, trust, and probates. I don't want it to come from an estate planner because I don't want them to think that an estate planner is trying to sell them on an estate plan. But I'd love for you to be there in case there's some like legal questions or for like specific questions that I can't answer or I feel like would be more adequate for you to answer. What I'd love for you to do is set up a booth and whatever. And if you could help out with X, Y, and Z, that would be awesome. Um, I mean, if you're going to go in to do it together, my best thing would be to say, look, we're putting this thing together. What I'd love to do is, all the expenses together, we just split them. I do one, the power or capital gain tax strategies. So I brought in two DST sponsors. I brought in an advisor, I brought in a tax strategist, and I brought in an estate planner. And I said, look, what we're going to do is we're going to all commit together, put in $1,000, and we're going to use that $1,000 for marketing, for lunch, for everything like that. So I would just say it's just a matter of fact. Like when you talk to them, like, hey, we're doing this, we're really trying to make it big, and we're going to be using this money for marketing, so we get as many butts in the seats as possible, as well as we're going to be using it for lunch and other expenses. So that would be my thing, and most people should be willing to do so. And you could just tell them our goal is 20 people in this part. So if they even get one deal from it, hopefully that pays back that marketing expense.
Okay, fabulous. And I believe you're with EXP. Have you ever used the travel certificates or ever ventured down that avenue? I was considering getting like one of those prizes and potentially saying, come to our event and win a vacation for 2 night stay in Vermont. Or have you ever utilized that?
So I'm with Real.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
know
Okay.
Felicia's with EXP. So I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but
Okay.
we do they basically do free raffles and they're raffling off something. I usually do a raffle where it's like $150 gift card. And then also they have a chance to win a free strategy session, which is a $500 value, which AK everybody wins because I just want to get in front of them and talk about what what their situation is, give them some resources and stuff. So
Okay.
maybe you can work out a deal where if you're going to do some, I don't know what your topic's on, but maybe if an estate planner is going to be there, maybe they offer a free consultation for somebody to win. And
Okay.
then again, in my opinion, everybody should win that because why wouldn't you want to do a free
Yeah.
consultation for everybody to have a chance for everyone to win? So that's my thing. Maybe
Okay.
you can do like with the decluttering. I would do something that involves a service that either you're going to provide or one of your affiliates can provide that
Okay.
would ultimately lead to a transaction down the road.
Okay.
Everything. I mean, for my sphere, I've done them where we've done events where, everyone that comes in here gets a chance to win a trip. But for the most part, like, I don't think that's why people come. Um, and then does it really help me get business? I'm giving a free trip away. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But if I gave a free listing away, I bet people would be like, "Hey, that's pretty cool," and it would help me learn who wants to actually list their home.
Yeah.
So everything I do is always like, how do I get business out of this? Like, I know some people do these huge seminars with 100 to 200 people in it, but I've always asked them how many conversions you get, and they always tell me zero. I'm like, why would you ever want to do something or teach someone else to do something that you get zero out of? Like
Yeah.
to me, it's like, why don't we teach something that we know works? I know for my lunch and learns, and most people I've talked to that do them, the smaller venues are the highest converting venues.
Mm.
So 20 is a really good number to try to max out at.
Okay.
And I've had one where two people showed up and both people converted because it was like having a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
We gotta kind of get away from the slides. When you have
Okay.
more than 20, it's really hard to resonate. So I mean, if you have a whole team or there's a bunch of people there, but again, I think it's more make it smaller, make
Okay.
it more private, more yeah, and more interactive that way.
Fabulous.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, no worries. Sherry asked, what are a couple of good questions to ask the facilities that we might not think of? Now, when we say facilities, are we talking about the skilled nursing facilities, the rehab centers, or are we talking about senior living communities? And if you're both, okay. So for one, for when we're working in the senior living communities, never use the F word. So if you're at a senior living community, an assisted living community, a memory care, a CCRC, always use the word community because facility is like a rehab place, a jail, a psych ward, and they might actually even get offended by using the word facility. They just like this is someone's home, and we never go into our neighbor's house and say, "Oh, this is a great facility." So that's just a sidebar. So when we're going into these communities, again, we did a whole thing on it yesterday of like all the different kind of questions to ask. Really, what I kind of get to is when you're going to tour these communities, and I would, if it's a community, I would tour them just like you were a resident or a future resident or a potential resident. And I would be an investigative journalist asking as many questions I possibly can. One of the questions I would definitely ask is at what point in time if a resident is in here, are they not allowed to be in here, or would you guys ask them to leave? Now, this could be behavioral. This could be a medical condition. Um, it could be a financial situation. So you'd want to know that part because there are times where people are going to move into a community thinking that they're going to be there through end of life, and then up finding out like they can't stay through end of life. And with that same question, I would probably just preface that the end cap of it, once I found that, I was like, well, is there anything that would stop someone from you allowing them to become a resident in the first place? And again, that could be a medical condition, that could be a behavioral issue. Um, Things like that. I think, when we're talking about a facility like a skilled nursing facility or rehab center, most of those places will not allow you to actually tour them. If they do, it'll be certain parts of it. And you can try, I've tried to say, look, I'm really thinking about one of my clients moving it, having to come here. I really want to make sure that like I see it and can vouch for it. Can I just like peek in? They're not the best of places. One thing I can tell you is like just the smell alone. There's a lot of bedpans. There's a lot of people that are bedridden. There's sores. Like it's not the best of places. And I always urge people not to scare them. Like I don't want to use that tactic, but I would tell them like, hey, when you're out visiting communities, you should just go out and look at a couple different, skilled nursing facilities. God forbid the crisis happens, you at least know which one that you want to say, hey, this is the one I want to go to. Sometimes you'll have a choice at the hospital. Sometimes they're going to go to who they're, um, loss of words, but contracted with. Uh, so because when they go in there, they're going to be like, well, I never want to go here. And I agree. I don't think anyone wants to go into a skilled nursing facility. It's not like, oh, that's where I'm aiming for. But that's what happens when the crisis happens. So, knowing that, and even at the assisted living communities, like all of a sudden they get an open wound. Okay, they won't take open wounds. Well, that means they got to go somewhere while they have those open wounds. Some places will, or some places will have a service that will come in and take care of the wound care. Some places just are not insured to do so or not licensed to do so. So it's not that they're being heartless. It's just they can't, especially where I live. Again, I'm a very uh, litigious state and a controlling state. Any other questions? Or thoughts. And again, if you guys want, I would put in your name and what areas you cover in the chat, just so everyone. Part of this is to network and to have more resources. We also have a resource directory that we're building so that everyone can go on there and just like kind of look of like where I need someone here and I want someone that really specializes helping seniors and their families. So that would be another good thing. And, again, if whether you're just getting into the senior space or you've been into it, dealing with the pain points, selling the house, yes, it's an obstacle because more of them, they just don't want to sell. But there's a lot of obstacles and pain points that go along with this. There's memories. There's, decluttering and organizing. There's aggressive collecting. There's hoarder situations. There's memories where my husband built the house right here, and our kids grew up in it, and I just feel like I'm failing him if I sold it. Like, there's a lot of things that you got to go through, and a lot of us as agents might not be equipped to handle all of those. So by going to senior networking work groups, another great question, going back to the communities, I would always ask them, hey, I have a great mover manager. Even if I didn't, I would say I have a great mover manager. And sometimes they get, too booked up. Or if you ended up referring me somebody, I'd want to use your mover manager. Who do you recommend or who do you use? And would you mind if I reach out to them and kind of told us that we put us in touch? Most of them are going, 99% of them are going to say, oh, yeah, of course, you should reach out to blah, blah. Uh, and each time you go, you can just go back and say, hey, or when you're visiting different communities, ask for different, hey, do you have a declutter and organizer? Do you have a mover manager? Do you have a moving company? Do you have a in-home care? Do you have an in-home health? Asking them, they'll help you build them up. Another question you ask is, do you guys hold professional events here? Do you host networking groups here? Most of them are going to say yes. Well, by asking which days, becoming part of it, getting invited from the community director themselves, now you're in the inn and you just met them. So that would be another one. Fermina, hope I said that right. I believe I did.
It's Ferminia. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sick. That's why I'm not on. I have Kleenex in my nose.
No
I have a
worries.
question about the networking. So there's not a lot of networking for seniors where I'm at, and I want to start a group. Do you have any recommendations on doing that?
Absolutely. I would say even if there was some, like where I live, there's probably, I mean, no joke, there's at least a dozen. I still started my own. I called it Sing. You guys can look it up on we should have a website, SING, so Sing, Senior Industry Networking Group. I know I'm pretty creative and original there, but I would definitely say to start your own and just meet once a month. And I mean, what we preface ours on is one, I don't allow just one person in each category to come. Everybody can come because the more the merrier. I really believe in collaboration. Secondly, is we don't realize how much training and education we get on business planning, on marketing and branding, on advertising, on CRMs, on scripts. Like most businesses don't get the training we get. So if you make it part of your networking group that a portion of the time that you're meeting is to educate or bring in a social media manager or bring in a tax specialist or bring in someone that's going to help them with their like the actual growth of their business. Everywhere else is doing like, and I think it's great, but like we did one on wound care, and I'm like, that's great to know, but at the same time, like, doesn't help me grow my business. And am I really going to be going in and talking to my clients about level one, and level two, and level three wound care? Like, probably not. Or knee replacement. Like, that's probably not, you know. And again, it's great to have resources, but I think it's better to help them build their business. Also, I think you have a 1 minute shot clock. One of the complaints that I see that these places, the networking groups have is one person will be able to speak for 3 minutes, the next person gets cut off 10 seconds, and it's almost like who really knows the facilitators the best, or who's just willing to just keep talking. So ours, we have a 1 minute shot clock, and the timer goes off at a minute and goes, and I'll just keep letting it go till the person is quiet. But for the most part, I tell people, hey, when you hear that, just finish your last sentence and then you'll have next week to talk even more, or we'll be able to open this up even more. So, but I would say if you're in the senior space or you want to focus on the senior space, you should definitely do them. The easiest spots to do them is host them at senior living communities because it's free. They usually provide breakfast or lunch depending on what time you're doing it, and just try to make it so it's not on the same day as other ones in your area. But if
Okay.
you don't have a lot of them or any of them, I would say you are them
Okay.
because there is a need, no matter what city you're in, there's a need for it.
And then what about seminars? Do you recommend doing seminars? Like I wanted to try doing monthly seminars, but I don't know if that's a good idea, not a good idea.
I believe absolutely.
Okay.
Lunch and I consider it a pillar, and we will go like there will be a month that all we talk about is different types of lunch and learns, how to put them on, how to market for them, how to advertise for them. But absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
even to me, even if you just start with your sphere and say, I'm going to do a lunch and learn on senior living options, and you just explain all the different senior living options, or you do one with wills, trust, and probate, and if you're not comfortable talking about it, bring in an estate planner to talk about it. That's a great topic. Um, preparing the house for sale. I don't personally do them, but I know people have had success doing them. I'm a terrible salesperson and I hate feeling salesy. And I just feel like if I'm putting something on to prepare your house for the market, I'm trying to get you to sell your home. But I know it's needed. I personally don't do them. I do one, the power of 1031 exchanges and DSTs, or 14 different ways to eliminate capital gain taxes. I am more about education, and if you have a monthly thing, I think that's great. I know a guy that really does like $1 billion in real estate sales, and all he does is, I'm a trustee, now what? And the power of 1031 exchanges and DSTs, and he just rotates them every
Okay.
single, like I think he does it like every other week he's doing one, and that's one of his main sources of business. So I think even if you're just doing the same topic every single month, I think it's great, especially because a lot of the information that you're going to be going over is going to be brand new for people. So when they first come, it's like they hear it but they don't understand it or really like hear it, so they're going to come again. Or they might be in like 12 to 24 months away. So they start, oh, I just want to hear about it. And all of a sudden, as it becomes real, it's like, I want to come back to that. So, but definitely, I mean, the website should be, let me look it up. But if you're willing to talk, um, Sing networking, if you're willing to talk and you're not afraid of public speaking, then I would say most definitely do that. Sorry, I'm looking up. Okay, here it is. I found it. No, I didn't. Thought I did. Uh, I will. I will find out like where what the website is. I should know it, but I don't run the. I started it, but then I gave because I'm a terrible planner. I gave it up to another agent, and they basically took off and ran with it. But I know someone just reached out to me and said, "Hey, so how do I get involved?" And I'm like, talk to them. So I will. I'll make sure that I post it on the free site, our group.
Okay.
Anyone else got anything before we cut out? And I mean, one, I appreciate you guys showing up today. I think this is the biggest group I've had for a Friday. I switched it to 8:30 because 7 o'clock out in the West Coast was just too early. Because that's the time I get up for bed or get up from for the day and get my kids ready for school. So thank you. I hope this is a good time. If you guys got something out of it, please go on to our public site and just say, hey, we joined the sing or not the sing, we joined the LFG call today. We got a lot out of it. You guys should be joining it. Invite your friends. The more the people, the merrier. Yeah, it might be Sing USA. I'm gonna look at what happened. So I will get from there. Yeah, but other than that, just know we're here to help. And we want to make the membership affordable where everybody can do it. And yeah, if anyone doesn't got anything else, I'm terrible at goodbyes, but I think this would be goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.